Hey there ladies, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. I am the founder of Nomadic Fitness, where I teach women how to eat more and work out less to turn their bodies into a 24/7 calorie burning machine. No restrictions, no crazy cardio. So in today's video, I'm taking you through one of my leg and glutes workouts. And in particular, I'm gonna be giving you a bit of information about how to know how much you should be doing in your workout. So how many reps, how many sets, what are the best exercises that you should focus on to really see some serious lower body development, and how to know how to progress in your workout. So how to know when you should be going up in weight, when you should be doing more reps, how to keep track of all of that. And I'm also going to be giving you some tips and advice just around getting over that initial intimidation around doing some of these more advanced lifts, and encouraging you to really push yourself in terms of your strength, because a lot of women do not really believe that they are able to lift that much weight because we've been so conditioned by society to think that we are physically weak. That is absolutely not the case. I definitely understand that feeling because I was the same in the beginning. I was so shocked when I realized how much weight I could actually lift. And let me tell you, not only is it so fun and so empowering, but you are also going to see the most insane results when you start to push yourself with the weight. So I'm going to be giving you tips with all of that in today's video. So come along with me to the gym. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss any more good stuff coming your way. Let's go. So before we actually get into the workout, I'm just going to quickly show you this new setup that I've been doing for hip thrusts, because I realized that the regular benches in the gym were just a little bit too high. So what I've been doing is taking these little stacks here, I don't really know what that's called, I think these are like aerobics benches, and stacking it to a level where I'm going to be able to sit on the ground and press my back up against the bench, and then it's going to be directly across the middle of my back. And then you're going to see when I do these hip thrusts in just a minute after we warm up that I'm going to have a really proper range of motion where I can do proper hip extension and really isolate the glutes. So try to see if you can find something like this to set up in your gym where when you sit on the ground, your back is going to be exactly at that midway point. But if you just don't have that set up, it's not the end of the world. If you do a regular bench, I definitely did that for years, but recently I've been seeing this a lot more and I just wanted to get better form overall. All right, so here I am putting the plates on the bar. I'm going to be doing 2 45s on each side because I really want to push myself to lift as heavy as I can and really overload those glutes. Your glutes can definitely take a lot of weight. Remember, it's the biggest muscle in your entire body, and if you really want to see them grow, you want to put some serious resistance on them. So don't be afraid to go heavy. You honestly will be shocked. You're a lot stronger than you think you are. Obviously, if you're not used to doing this much weight, you don't just immediately jump to it, but definitely don't be afraid to push yourself beyond what you think you can do right now. All right, so just doing some quick glute activation to get those glutes fired up, get the legs warmed up, muscles activated, blood flowing. So I have my resistance band here just above my knees, and I'm just going to be doing some lateral steps side to side, and then also doing these zigzag walks where I'm walking out to a 45-degree angle backwards and forwards, and then bending down into a squat and walking side to side. These ones are really tough. You're going to really feel the burn. Then just some regular banded squats, and then finishing off with some bodyweight hip thrusts. So you can see that the angle here is really good where my upper back is, and you can see how I'm doing this hip extension, and it's the perfect range of motion where I'm not overextending and I'm able to completely thrust up from my hips, because you want to think like you're scooping your tailbone and squeezing your glutes, and that is how you're doing this range of motion. And now that I've done these bodyweight, I'm ready to get into the actual working sets. So these banded barbell hip thrusts, I'm putting the booty band just over my knees. I also have a barbell pad. You need some sort of cushion, of course, otherwise the bar is going to dig into your hip bones and that's going to be really uncomfortable. So I definitely recommend a barbell pad like what I have here. Otherwise, you can take a yoga mat and fold it up a bunch of times, or just anything that you can find in your gym to give your hip bone area some cushion. And then you can see I'm putting my upper back against the bench, keeping my eyes looking forward. I'm not throwing my head back. You want to keep your eyes looking ahead at the wall. And then when you're pushing up, you're going to have your legs in front of you at a 90-degree angle. I like to point my toes out just a tiny bit. And then you are pushing with all of your might. Since you are using challenging weight and you really need to recruit your strength here, you're pushing off through those heels. And like I said, you really want to think that you're scooping your tailbone, like you're scooping some ice cream. So thrusting from the hips, driving through the heels, squeezing the glutes, and doing that full hip extension all the way up to the top. Don't slack on your range of motion here. you want to make sure you get your hips all the way up as high as you can, squeezing those glutes the whole way. And you want to do anywhere from about 8 to 12 reps for this one. Being in the 8 to 10 rep range especially would be ideal, because that means you're using challenging enough weight that you're really going to put some serious resistance on your glutes. And pretty much for every exercise ever, I usually do 3 sets, but a lot of the time for this exercise I'll even do 4, just to get a little bit more volume on the glutes, because it is the best exercise for growing glutes. So there's not really a lot of need to do so many other exercises, and instead just focus on getting more of the very best. All right, next up we are moving on to what I believe is the hardest exercise of all time, but of course it's also one of the most powerful and beneficial, and that is a barbell back squat. So don't be afraid to get on this barbell. Even if you just literally get started with the bar alone and not any weight, the bar is only 45 pounds, which maybe does sound like a lot for some of you who are more beginners, but seriously, when you have it laid across your back, it is not that heavy and you can definitely do it. You're a lot stronger than you think. So even though it might seem intimidating, the only way to get over it is to just get started and get moving. And trust me, you will be very surprised that you are so much stronger than you think, and you're going to be delighted when you see how good the results are from doing big exercises like this. So you want to get under the bar and have it resting just across your upper back, and then you want to grab the bar just outside your shoulders, pinching your shoulder blades. I personally like to put thumbs on top of the bar. The very first thing is we're giving a tiny hinge back at the hips, and then we are sinking down into the squat. So tiny hinge back and then bending your knees, and you can see I'm getting really low here, and ideally the lower you can get the better. You want to squat to at least parallel, so at least where your butt is parallel to the ground. That is the absolute minimum. Any less than that means you are going too heavy, or if you're more of a beginner, it just means you don't have the mobility yet, so keep working. It will come soon, but definitely the lower you can get, obviously the more difficult it is, which means you're burning more calories, you're activating more muscle fibers, and you're just going to be overloading your muscles in general more. And also the lower you get, the more it activates the glute muscles as well, instead of just the legs. So if you're really trying to grow those glutes, it's ideal if you can squat as low to the ground as possible. And then for squats, I also think anywhere in the 8 to 12 rep range is very good. And again, focusing more on 8 to 10 would be ideal. And then keeping track of how much you're doing every single week, the reps you're doing for each set. You should be doing 3, how much weight you're doing for all those reps, and then every single week you want to progress a little bit more than what you were able to do the week before. All right, next up we have some dumbbell walking lunges, a nice classic exercise to really demolish your quads. So this is pretty straightforward. Don't need to overthink it. I find with my step forward, you don't want it to be like a huge step forward. You kind of want your leg to be just about 90 degrees, which actually a lot of the time isn't as far of a step forward as you might think. So not taking a huge step forward, but bringing that back knee all the way down to the ground and then pushing up on your front heel to lift yourself back up. And this is an exercise where you can do more like 10 to 12 reps if you are going a little bit extra heavy, or you can even do 12 to 15 per leg, of course, if you're doing slightly lighter weight. And by the end, your quads are going to be absolutely demolished, and you're going to do this one for 3 sets as well. All right, moving on to this piece of equipment, which is called a hack squat. It's a really awesome machine. Hopefully your gym has one, because you're able to squat very low to the ground and really overload those quads because of that, and also hit the glutes. So you're going to place your feet pretty far forward on the platform, and then you're simply squatting all the way down as low as you can. And again, here you want to aim for a little bit lower than parallel, so that means you're getting a really good range of motion, really overloading those quads. And here I'd say go for 10 to 12 reps for 3 sets, and make sure that you're using challenging enough weight so that by the time you get to that 10 to 12 reps, you feel like your muscles are absolutely burning, and you really would maybe only have about 1 or 2 more reps left in you before it would be complete failure. And that's how you know you're pushing yourself hard enough and that your muscles are going to grow. And remember, keep track of the reps and weight that you use. You can just keep track of it on a note in your phone, and then every single week you want to be increasing the reps or the weight that you're using. Okay, on to this final exercise here. We are doing the leg press. So another amazing piece of equipment in your gym. Definitely incorporate it in your training because it is very effective, and it's an exercise where you can use a lot of weight and really overload your muscles, but do so quite safely because you have the support of the machine. So I like to keep my feet high up on the platform with my toes pointed out slightly. The higher up your feet are, the more more activation you're gonna have in your hamstrings, so the back of your legs. And then when you place your feet lower on the platform, it's gonna be more in your quads, so the front of your legs. And I'd say this is another great exercise where you can do either 8 to 10 reps or even 10 to 12, because like I said, you can really go quite heavy and really overload all of your leg and glute muscles in this exercise. And you could even push it and do more like 12 to 15 reps, but that would mean that you're probably using a little bit of a lighter weight. And I think it would be better to go a bit heavier and just really overload your muscles here. So again, doing this one for another 3 sets. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me for this workout video. I hope it inspired you. I hope you are feeling more ready to go in the gym and push that weight and prove to yourself that you are very physically strong. You've got this, and you're gonna see insane results so quickly by doing so. If you want any more help with how to eat, how to work out, make sure to check out the other videos on this channel and go to the link in the description box so you can download some of my free sample meal plans and free workout plans. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.